this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And I'm just here to help you learn how to organize your stuff or make cards or doing all kinds of stuff that has to do with Stampin' Up! So before I start, please, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, that'd be great. And also, if you hit the little ringer thing next to subscribe when you do it, it will automatically alert you when I've got a new video up, which is a couple of times a week. So let's go ahead and get started. This video is about organizing your Stampin' Up! Products, because you have stamps and dies and punches and paper and designer series paper, and how do you keep it most organized? And what I want to do is show you just a few things I do. So let's deal with punches and stamps. What I do when I get a set, and this is really important, especially for a demonstrator. So if you're putting things up on YouTube or your blog or anything, you want to know the part number of an item. You want to know what it's called. You want to know what it goes with. So what I do when they have a match like this is on the stamp set, I get my label maker. And if you get a label maker, make sure you get the kind that you can peel off, like you can fold it half and peel off the back, because those are a lot easier than the ones that only come in one piece. You spend half your life trying to take the back off of it. So get yourself a nice label maker. And then also, label maker tape is ungodly expensive. So when you can put it down to a second line, do it. And then, of course, it always has a tail on both ends, and I cut off the tails. But I know when I grab this that it has a rectangular postage stamp punch. So that's what I put on the stamp, and then on the punch, I put the name of the punch and its part number. This helps me when I put it in my YouTube comments of what items I use, or my website, so I can have those little pictures come up. And then I also put goes with posted for you, so I know these go together. Now a second one would be a stamp and dies. So I do the same thing with the stamp. I put goes with so many snowflakes. And then on the die, this is what I do. When we get these things in this nice little container here, I take the piece here and I put the name of the die here. I put its part number, so when, I could pull that up. I put goes with, and I put snowflake wishes. I also, if you look down here, it tells you how many dies are in it. So I put 8 dies. And then I purchase these magnets. Now you can make some, and I've done that, but they are not as good. That magnet stuff you get at like Office Depot to make them, it's not as good as if you go online and actually buy them made for dies. So I put all my dies onto a magnetic strip so they don't go anywhere and they don't fall out of these little envelopes or get all crazy mixed up. So, and I know how many there should be. So when I'm doing a major project and I've got a billion things out, I'll know if I'm missing a die. So I'll take this, and I'll also take this envelope and flip over that part. And I've taken some nice packing tape, and I've tape that flap to the back, so all it is open like this. And then I take this and I turn it around to the back, and then I take my magnetic sheet and I slide it into the envelope. So I used to take the magnetic piece, the magnetic sheet, and put it inside the stamp case, and you can do that. If you don't have a lot of stamps, if you're not a demonstrator and you don't have a lot of stamps and dies and not a lot of space, go ahead and put it inside. So, but if you are a demonstrator or somebody who does a lot of cards, don't store them together, because the problem is if you need to do like an online card class where you're just doing die cuts, because you can't stamp anything and send it out to people for an online class. It's only dies and paper and stuff. So when you put it separately and you go through your box, and let's look at the boxes. I've got a box like this. This is actually made by a company who sells these specifically for dies. And it's really nicely shaped. I really like it. It's ungodly expensive for a wood box. If you want to just go the cheap way, Office Depot, $4, you know, and it works just as well. This is just a little nicer though. And I usually put like all my shapes in one and then other like theme ones in the other box. So I have them all grouped together. But when you have them separate, I can go through. If I'm looking for a frog, boom, I know I got a frog right here. Or something that has, you know, a quotation thing. I know I can pull it out. So it's a lot easier to keep them separate. And if you've ever seen any of my videos, I usually use multiple sets of things or just the die or something like that. So this will make it a lot easier if you keep it separate. But like I said, if you don't have a lot of dies and stamps, if you just want to put that magnetic thing in the box, hey, go for it. So this is how I do stamps and dies. Now let's talk about paper. This is how I keep my paper. I buy these folders. And what's great about this is I can keep all my scraps inside of this folder. So I know I can use this piece of paper again. And I just take my trusty label maker again and I put the part number right here and then the name of whatever that paper is right there. Then I take one of these, like it's a magazine box. And it's big enough for a 12 by 12 and I store them upright. You can't tell because my thing is too short, but I store them upright here so the paper stays nice and straight. If you use those just the ones in the cubes that you lay your paper down flat, it's really hard to keep these scraps all together, or you have to keep them separate. I have them for tons of paper. I scrapbook as well, and it becomes a nightmare. This is the best way to do it that I've seen. And then I also put what it is on the box. So these are all my in colors one for this year. So I keep them all right in here, and that's how I keep regular paper. Now let's talk designer series paper. So what I've done here is I've got a brand new folder. Here's my designer series paper. And of course on the back is all your information. So I went ahead and I printed out the name of it, and I'm going to cut these little tags off here because these tabs on top are really small. That's the only kind of bummer thing. And you could put them here, I suppose, but I like having them at the top. So I'll just cut it down. And like I said, if you've got a way to make a second line on your tape, do it because the tape is expensive. Now this one I don't have to cut off because I'm going to put it right there in the front. So when I'm pulling out some paper and I'm making a card, and if you're a demonstrator, you know, you're going to put it up on your YouTube or whatever, and you want to reference this, it's all right here. You don't have to look in the book or anything like that. Also, so here's the paper it comes with. Here's the back. So that's where I got the part number and the name. Keep this piece of paper, and the reason why you do is because right here it tells you all the colors this paper coordinates with. So if you're making a card and you need like some kind of, you know, funky blue greenish thing, then you go, oh look, Coastal Cabanas right there, or purple Highland Heather, or Misty Moonlight, which is a new one, you know. So you got all your colors here. So keep that piece of cardboard and then go ahead and stick it in your folder, and then you put it in that little magazine box thing. And that's how I keep my designer series paper. Now there's other designer series paper that's the 6x6, and I basically do the same thing. I keep the instruction or the label thing on the back so I know all the colors that it goes with. I put its part number and I put its name up here, and I buy these somewhere else. And so that's how I keep my 6x6. And then I put it in one of these really cheapo Office Depot boxes, which works pretty well. And as for embossing folders, I kind of do the same. I don't keep the plastic thing. I just keep them in its little thing like this, and then I just put them in a box, and it doesn't seem to be a problem, and I don't have to label or anything because it's kind of its own thing. But that's how I do my organization for my products, and this is how I know what goes with what. I can grab something that if I'm looking for a particular thing, I can just go through my stuff. I have all my part numbers, I have all my names, and like at the end of the year when they retire stuff, I leave all this stuff on and I do sell my products after they're retired, because I can't make a YouTube video with something that's retired, because you can't get it anymore. So anyway, I hope you like this video. Write me a comment. Please subscribe, and I'll continue to make more videos. So that's it. Bye.